So hello everyone who's watching this video. Here I'm Anistas, yeah, and I will explain in this video. I will explain about the classroom discourse analysis. So what is analysis is, table of contents, the definitions, the structure of classroom discourse analysis, and also the example of the classroom discourse analysis. So we will watch a video that is in the part of a video from the other, and I also will show you the example from the transcript that I do. Okay, it is all about the classroom discourse analysis. So first, we go to the first contents is the definition. So what is that about? Let's break down in piece by piece. Okay, so first, classroom. Classroom is the gathering for a given period of time of two or more persons, one of whom assumes the role of instructors for the purpose of learning something. So classroom, yeah. In general, you already know maybe that classroom is a room that is used to do a teaching and learning activity, which consists of students and also the teacher there. They do the teaching, learning, they do the interaction, teaching, something like that. That is what you call classroom. And then the discourse. Discourse is language in use. Thus, the analysis cover not only linguistic forms, but also the purpose or function which these forms are designed to serve in human affairs by Brown. Previously is by Ulrich and Bailey at 19. So these two are the definition of the classroom and the discourse. What is the definition of classroom discourse analysis itself? So the classroom discourse analysis means that a collection of methods, perspectives, or approaches analyzing forms, functions in verbal communication of teachers and students in classroom context, which has particular pedagogic purpose. So yeah, that is the definition of the classroom discourse analysis itself. Now, this CDA, or the abbreviation of classroom discourse analysis, have its own structure. So here I will show you the structure of classroom discourse analysis. Here you go. Yeah, you can see at the top, very top, there's the lesson XYZ. It means that the context is on one lessons. So there is a transaction, there is exchange, move, X now. What is it all about? First, we talk about the transaction itself. The transaction is it's like when you do when you have a teaching and learning and you plan a lesson plan, there will always be a pre-lesson, main lesson, and also the pre-activity, main activity, and post. That is the maybe like the general definition of a transaction itself. I will explain it later. Then there's an exchange. Exchange is particularly in the classroom discourse analysis. Exchange is consists of three: the initiation, the direct, and also the elicitation. I will explain it a bit after this. And then there's move. Move is the IRF. So IRF is the initiate, response, and follow up. It's basically a conversation between the teacher and also the student. When the teacher asks something, the student responds, and then after that, the teacher will follow up the response. And we have a lot of acts. Act is like the speech act, but this time, this is the context of classroom. So we have some act that is uh consisting in the classroom discourse. You'll see it later. So you can see it, the lesson here, the structure here. So the lessons always consist of transactions. A transaction always consists in exchange, and exchange always consists in move. A move always consists in act. So and is also like the other transaction. So transaction two also consists of exchange, move, act, and so on and so on. Yeah, that is for the structure. Now, what is the transactions? Okay. As I said before, a transition in the classroom is like the pre, main, and also the post lesson. You start the activity with an opening marker and close the activity with a closing marker. So a transition here has an objective and also has a boundary marked by a boundary opening or an opening marker. So there are two focus. First is the frames, like, okay, well, right now, good now. That is some of the example of the opening marker, like, okay, class, we will learn about the material today, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's example of the opening marker. And then the focus, like, today we will discuss about, there's the focus. So both of them are the opening. Then also the closing marker ends with a boundary closing exchange summarizing what the transaction was about or has achieved. For example, like good, you see, you can write in passive voices easily. That and then like it's like okay, class, that's all for this activity. Uh, Usually that is for the post lesson. For the main lesson, okay, I think you already got the gist of this activity. Then we can continue. You can see the bridging. The bridging is like there will always be a closing marker, and the bridging will be first transaction onto the next. And then also note that a transaction always consists of exchanges. This exchanges in, let's see next. Now, what is an exchange? So teaching exchange has three types: inform, directing, informing, directing, and eliciting. In the context of classroom discourse analysis, these three refer to different functions or roles that the teachers and students play in communication within the classrooms. So first, informing. What is that? So informing involves the transmission of the information from the teacher to the student. So the teacher inform the student what they will do to that day, what will they do next, what will they do tomorrow. That is one of the form of informing. For example, here, like today we're going to learn about the causes of World War One. Let's begin by exploring the political climate in Europe during that time. That is example sentence or the example conversation by the teacher. That is uh that is the informing one. So then next is the directing. Directing involves guiding or instructing students on what to do or how to proceed with a task. For example, here we have the example. Now, please take out your lab notebooks and turn to page 23. We'll be conducting an experiment to observe the effects of heat on different substances. Yeah, this is what a teacher usually do. Like they direct the students, give instruction, what they do when they do something, what they need to do when they already finished. Just directing and it's almost similar, but it's a bit different. And eliciting. Uh, Eliciting involves prompting or drawing out responses from students, encouraging them to actively participate in the learning process. What is the example? Here you can see. There you can see the example. Like, what do you think was the main theme in the novel we read last week? So, it's like the teacher try to recall what the student has have learned. The teacher is actually already know the answer, but he just want to check the comprehension, check the understanding of the of the students, whether the students are already understand or not. So yeah, that is eliciting. And then after that, you can remember that if there's exchange, there's always a move. So what is a move means? In the classroom discourse analysis, the terms initiate, response, and follow-up refer to specific moves or actions within the communications. These three terms are often associated with the analysis of teacher-student or student-student or student-teacher interactions. So here's an explanation of each, the three. So initiate, response, and follow-up. So what is initiate even mean? First, initiate. The initiation is the initial move or statement made by the teacher or a student to start a communicative interaction. So when the teacher asks the student, then there's the initiate. When the student asks the teacher, there's also the initiative. And then every initiate will always have the response. This one is the reply of reaction given by student or the group of students to the initiation, not just given by the student, because student can also give initiate and teacher can also give a reaction or a reply. So that's what you call it. Then follow up. The follow up is the subsequent move made by the teacher or student in response to the previous response or the initial response. So it can extend or deepening the interaction between the student and also the teacher. So maybe we can see it clearly by seeing this example on the bottom here. So you can see the initiate. Teacher says, let's discuss the properties of geometric shapes. Can anyone name a shape with four sides of equal length? And then the student's response, a square, he said. And then the teacher give a follow-up by saying that, excellent. Now, can someone explain why a square is considered a rectangle? Well, think about the properties we just discussed. So actually, uh, when the teacher say excellent is already as the teacher following up the response by the students. So the follow-up will be good, excellent. That's right. That's an example of the follow-up. Okay. I think you can already see the main line of what is move. And class is the act. So what is an act? So I can see there's a lot of points here. So a move consists of one, or a move will always consist of one or more acts, and an act itself is defined by its discourse function. So act is like the speech act, like the apologize, giving information, asserting, and then permission, something like that. Informing, directing, acknowledging, react, reply, comment, evaluate, something like that is a speech act. And here is also an act, but it's focusing on the classroom settings. So first, so actually we have three main here. Main act is the meta interactive, and also turn taking. First, we talk about meta interactive. Meta interactive goes three act, which is marker, meta statement, and loop. What is marker? Marker is the act which realizes framing moves like, okay, now, well, right. It's like the first thing you see here. This one on the transactions. Nah, this one. Usually, a marker is on the first sentence in a transaction or a boundary, opening boundary marker like, okay, we will do this right now, we will do this now, something like that is what we call a marker, opening marker and a closing marker now. And then next is the meta statement. What's the meta statement? It talks about the discourse, realizes and focusing loops. So it's like when the teacher explaining the material, when the teacher explaining the direction, it is what you make a statement. And then the last is the loop. Loop is talks used to put the discourse back to where it was before the preceding move. Examples like, excuse me, what did you say? Or I beg your pardon. So when the student asks for a confirmation, usually they say like that, and then the teacher will explain again, and it will become a loop. And yeah, then next is the interactive. Interactive. Well, we have a lot of here. One, two, three, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10x lab. So interactive consists of initiation, response, and follow-up. So that move or IRF usually consists of this things. X, the interactive one. So on the initiation, usually it consists of informative, directive, and elicitation. On a response, usually a acknowledge, react. Then on the follow-up, usually it's about the accepting, evaluate, comment, accepting like, right, that's a good answer there. Or maybe like evaluate the answer from the student, then give answer from this, give the comment from the student response. So it usually put on the follow-up. Okay. And then the last is the turn taking. There are three here: the cue, it, and nomination. Cue is when the teacher gives cues to students to raise their hands and or do other things to claim the turn. Then bid is when the students raising their hands or shouting like, "Sir, may I?" or "Miss, I want to answer now." That's the bid. And then nomination is that when the teacher nominates or choose the next speaker or choose the student who has the bid. So when the teacher said, "Okay, okay, Satria, you can go," or "Okay, Anista, you may answer this." That's and nomination. That's what you call an. And then here we will see the example of classroom discourse. So, well, okay, I have the video, but I will try to stop the share screen and then I will share again the video. You can see the video here. We'll watch the video for 1 minute, see the example of classroom instruction, how we analyze the discourse.
So we're going to start off today with the task. This is related to around page 271 in your binder if you want to do that. Want to take a look at that. So once you get this, you can go ahead and get started. And I'll pass out calculators also. Okay, so put your name on the purple paper and go ahead and get started. I'll come around and help you if you need it. Yeah.
Okay, so I found this. I did 14c plus 4 equals 96.
Cool.
But do you need another function so you can do the RREF? Or like elimination or something like that?
Could you do either of those methods with just one equation?
No, that's why I put 2 down there.
Okay. Could you grab another one if you needed it?
Like
Okay.
this, like 2c plus like the next one.
Just another day, yeah.
You could do that?
Okay, that is the example of 1 minute example of classroom interactions, high school master problems. So I will share again the PowerPoint. Okay. So after you see, maybe you can just rewind the video. See it again. That is the example of classroom interaction between the student and the teacher, or even the teacher to the student interactions. Then this is how we uh, analyze it using. So here I already transcript the video using the Jefferson style. So Jefferson style itself is a style to transcript the video using some symbol here. You can see there are a lot of symbol that I put in the transcription, like the comma. Comma is not the comma in the grammar, so it's not because. So when you see all of these marks here is not a mark that you usually do when you want to have a good grammar. No. So it's like the comma it stands for a slightly rising intonation, like this, like a dot, a full stop in a bracket. It's called a micropause. When a micropause is when someone talk but is silence a bit and then continue to talk again. It's called micropause. And then like the colon here, two colons mean stretch sounds. Like And then if you put more columns, it will become longer and more stretched. Yeah, there's some symbol in Jefferson's law. There are a lot of symbol in Jefferson's. Yeah. So we get back to the analysis. So first, what we do is we need to see the transaction. So like I said before, transaction is when you start the pre-activity, the main activity, or the post-activity. Something like that. You start and you close. So in the video, the teacher here, the words that I give the yellow, yellow mark, yellow highlight mark is the transactions. So like here. So we're going to start off today with a task. So it's like you can see that the teacher give a marker, an opening marker, a starter. We can also say a starter where. So we're going to start off today with a task, something like that. Then this is related to around blah blah blah, and it's called the the meta statement here. Like the teacher explain what they will to do, and then what is the material, something like that, and then it goes on up until I forgot, but it's about 9 minutes where the teacher ends the first transaction. A long video. 9 minutes, 20 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the transaction, one transaction, consisting of opening and also the closing. Then you can also see that what is the I1, F1, IFR. Okay, we will see it later. Like the starter, met, ENF here, what is it? Then I can see it later. Nah, next is the exchange. We talked about exchange previously, and here we can see the exchange. Exchange consists of directing, informing, and eliciting. Here, yeah, this example, this is the same example that I used before. So here you can see the yellow mark here. This is the directing. Like the teacher say, okay, so put your name on the purple paper and go ahead and get started. So the teacher directing to direct the students to put their name on the purple paper and start ahead, go ahead and get started. And then teacher also do the informing. Says that she says that I'll come around and help you if needed. And then it means that the teacher inform the student that she will also come around and help the student if they need it. And elicit, there's also elicit one here. Here you can see. Could you do either of those methods with just one equation? So teacher asks the student a question that try to recall the student's understanding or try to check the student understanding about the material. So he asked that, and then there also the other elicit, like, could you grab another one if you need it? So actually, the teacher already know the answer, but she tries to ask the question to the student, so checking if the student know the answer. So that's the general means of elicit. So yeah, that's the exchange in this video. Now, after exchange, we have move. So yeah, this is the move. The IRF. Remember the IRF? I is the initiate, R is the response, and F is the follow-up. Follow-up always comes after response, and initiate always comes first. Okay. So here you can see the I6. It means the initiate 6, response 6, follow-up 6. So why 6? Because yeah, you can see here the I1, F1, I2, F2. So every new initiate will always be a new number. So 6 means that there are already 6 initiate. Right. As you can see, the I6, like the students ask, like, do you like? And then the teacher just overlapping. So that is the symbol of overlapping, the square bracket. What? Then the student follow up. The follow up by, do you need another function so you can do the ref or like elimination or something like that? Nah, that's the follow up. Then you can also see the example, another example there, the I7. Could could you do either of those methods with just one equation? So the teacher start the conversation to the student, initiates questions, and then an answer with R response. No. That's why I put 2 down there. And then after that, the teacher give a follow-up by saying, okay. The okay, it's like the accepting or yeah, accepting the response by the students. Why? You see here, like the teacher gave elicitations, student reply, and then after the reply, the teacher accepting the answer. That's the move. And then X. The X is the thing that we put here, the yellow one. All of that is the X. So as you can see here, starter. Starter mean the teacher start the class. Like so, we're going to start off today with a task. That's the starter. And then meta statement. This is related to around page 271 in your binary if you want to do that. Want to take a look at that. That's the meta state. And informing. So once you got this, you can go ahead and get started. And I'll pass out calculators also. That is the informing. So the teacher informing the students. And then here, mar slash there. Mar is the marker and directing. So so it's a combination of a marker. So like, okay, okay is the marker. Okay, so put your name on the purple paper and go ahead and get started. So there's also the teacher direct the students to do so. And then we can also see the example of bit here, where the student raised their hand. So even though it's a nonverbal communication, but nonverbal communications like raising the hand is also considered as the analysis in a transcription. So we can put it there in the transcription, and it acts as a I4 or initiate, because the student initiate that they want to ask something, so they raise their hand, and then the act is called bid, where we or where the students bid themselves to ask something or to do something. Then you can also see at the bottom here, I don't know, you can see it. Act or acknowledge. So it's apart from this IRF, the I5, F5, and R5 here. So you can see, okay. So the students say that, okay, so I found this. I did plus 4 equals 96. And then the teacher said, cool. So the teacher like acknowledged the finding that is being found by. So yeah, I think we already cover all the transaction, the exchange, the move, and acts with this example. And yeah, you can see the video of this full by just clicking the YouTube High School Math Story Problems. I think it's a 30 minutes video. You can learn the interaction in the classroom from that video. And you can also refer to this video if you want to do the transcript and you want to learn what is the transaction, what is the exchange, what is move, and what is an act, because that's all is the I can say the elements of a classroom discourse analysis. Yep. Yeah, I think that's all from me. I'm Anista Satria. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it can give you an insight, whether it's a lot of insight or maybe a few insight. And sorry if there's any lack, any something misinformation or something like that. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.